Hey all, welcome to Tech Forum. In today's video, we are going to discuss about Google's Privacy Sandbox initiative. Launched in August 2019, the initiative aims to replace third-party cookies with privacy-preserving alternatives, balancing user privacy with personalized advertisements. First, what are cookies? Cookies are small text files that a website puts on your browser when you visit it. They help the website remember details about your visit, making it easier for you to use the site again and improving your experience on the site. There are two main types of cookies. One is first party cookies, the next one is third party cookies. The first party cookies, these are the good guys created by the website you are visiting. They remember your login details, what you add to your shopping cart, and even your language preferences, all to enhance your browsing experience. Third party cookies. Here is where things get tricky. These cookies are planted by domains other than the ones you are visiting, mainly by ad tech vendors. Their goal is to serve you ads that hit the mark, like showing you products you viewed but you didn't buy. These are the backbone of advertising for nearly 2 decades. Here is the catch. Third party cookies come with privacy red flags, tracking and profiling. They can follow you across different websites quietly, building a detailed profile of your interests and habits. The next one is lack of transparency. Most of the time, you don't even know you are being tracked, who is collecting your data, or why. Data security risks. If these data collectors get hacked, your sensitive information could be at risk. Targeted advertising. Personalized ads can be cool, but sometimes invasive. Cross-site tracking. Extensive tracking can feel like an overreach. Data sharing with unknown parties. Your data could end up in the hands of various untrusted parties. Consent issues. Many sites use these cookies without properly informing you or getting your consent. Because of these issues, there is a growing demand for better online privacy. As a result, web browsers are starting to phase out third-party cookies, and new technologies are being developed to balance ad targeting with privacy. Google's Privacy Sandbox initiative offers a new approach to digital advertising, prioritizing user privacy while maintaining effective advertising strategies. This framework primarily implemented in the Chrome browser. This framework categorizes user activities into different groups based on content preferences or shared interest. The main goal of the Privacy Sandbox is to ensure efficient ad delivery, including targeting, conversion, attribution, and reporting without relying on third-party cookies in Chrome. The Privacy Sandbox aims to anonymize user data, allowing advertisers to continue with behavioral targeting but with increased privacy. It's like changing how online ads work. Now, websites and apps can show your ads based on your interest without taking too much of your personal info. They keep most of your data on your device and share less with advertisers. The Privacy Sandbox APIs require web browsers to take on a new role. Rather than working with limited tools and protections, the APIs allows a user's browser to act on the user's behalf locally to protect the user's privacy. The Privacy Sandbox future vision is browsers providing specific tools to satisfy specific use cases while preserving users' privacy. The Privacy Sandbox include following APIs. The first one is Topics. The Topics API track browsing history to generate the signals for interest-based advertising without using third-party cookies or other user identifiers. Topics are categories the browser concludes based on the pages you visit. For example, topics may categorize ESPN as sports and the New York Times as news. The browser then collects a handful of topics commonly associated with the websites someone's visited. The browser uses machine learning algorithm to map the website's user visits to the list of predefined topics. These are the high-level steps for the Topics API. The first one is user's browser identifies the user's top topics for the week. The next one is user's browser shares a limited set of top topics with each API caller. Usually the API callers are going to be the advertising companies. The third one is the advertiser use these topics as a signal to deliver the relevant ads. You can find the API details over here, the privacy sandbox, then topics. If you see here, as a first step, the AdTech platform getting the users top interest topics from browser, document.browsing topics. Then invoking the ad platform API with the interest topics to display the relevant ad. The public list of topics are being maintained at this location. If you see here, two versions are there, V1, V2 taxonomy. Then this has ID 1, 2, 3 and random number there. Then also corresponding topics. V2 has more topics, so you can refer it. The browser maps the website into one of these topics based on the machine learning algorithm. The next is protected audience API. Select ads to serve remarketing and custom audience use cases designed to mitigate third-party tracking across sites. The protected audience API, the buyer, example demand side platform DSP, request the browser to join the interest group owned. The ad space seller, example sell side provider SSP or the site itself, use protected audience API to run an ad auction at browser to select the most appropriate ads to display to the user. The winning ad is displayed in a fenced frame. We can see what is fenced frame later in the video. The seller can report the auction outcome and also the buyers can report their wins. You can refer to this document, protected audience, privacy sandbox, to understand more on this workflow. How does a protected audience API ad auction work? So whatever I explained, little more details you can find here. Even two workflows are there. This is the one I explained, is the high level workflow. Even you can find more detailed workflow here. Also you can refer to this document to understand more on APIs. The next is attribution reporting. Data to correlate ad clicks or ad views to conversion events. Historically, ad tech providers used third-party cookies as a mechanism for conversion measurement and attribution. Ad techs can generate event level or summary reports through attribution reporting. This is the high level view of the attribution reporting. When a user views or clicks an ad on a website, the user's browser records the event. If the user later engages with the advertiser site, the user's browser records the event. Conversation events include purchases, sign-ups, etc. Privacy measures are used to deliver anonymized campaign reports to advertisers. The attribution reports use the concept of noise, adding noise to anonymize the data. You can refer more detail to the Google documentations. Summary reports provide detailed attribution information in aggregate. Event level reports provide limited ad engagement information on a per event basis. You can refer to this API documentation, privacy sandbox, attribution reporting to understand more details on attribution reporting. The next one is private aggregation. Generate aggregate data reports using data from protected audience and cross-site data from shared storage. The private aggregation API shares many similarities with the attribution reporting. Attribution reporting is a standalone API designed to measure conversions, whereas private aggregation works together with protected audience API and shared storage for cross-site measurements. Both APIs produce aggregatable reports that are consumed by the aggregation service backend to generate summary reports. Attribution reporting associates data gathered from an impression event and a conversion event which happen at different times. Private aggregation measures a single cross-site event. Refer to this documentation, privacy sandbox, private aggregation, to understand more on private aggregation report and the API details. The next one is shared storage. This allows unlimited cross-site storage write access with privacy preserving read access. To prevent cross-site user tracking, Browsers are partitioning all forms of storage, including cookies, local storage, caches, and others. But some valid situations need storage that's not divided. And these cases can only be addressed through new APIs. Shared Storage API helps here. For example, a content producer may want to measure reach across different sites without relying on cross-site identifiers. The Shared Storage API allows sites to store and access unpartitioned cross-site data. This data must be read in a secure environment to prevent leakage. You can refer to this documentation, Privacy Sandbox Shared Storage, to understand more on what is Shared Storage API and the API details. The next one is fenced frames. Securely embed content onto a page without sharing cross-site data. A fenced frame is an HTML element for embedded content, similar to an iframe. Unlike iframes, a fenced frame restricts the communication with its embedding context. As part of the Privacy Sandbox, the ads are displayed through fenced frame. Refer to this specific documentation, Privacy Sandbox Fenced Frame, to understand more on what is fenced frame and the usage. Some of the APIs and changes are already available in Chrome. The first one is User Agent Reduction. User Agent Reduction minimizes the identifying information shared in the user agent string, which may be used for passive fingerprinting. Historically, the user agent string broadcasts a large string of data about a user's browser, operating system, and version with every HTTP request. The reduced user agent includes the browser's brand and a significant version where the request came from, the desktop or mobile, and the platform. User agent client hints let you ask more data by requesting specific details about the user's device or conditions. Refer to this specific document to understand more details on user agent reduction. The next one is chips, cookies having independent partition state. This allows developers to opt a cookie into partition storage with separate cookie jars per top level site, improving user privacy and security. When not divided, third-party cookies can help services follow users and combine their data from various unrelated websites, which is called cross-site tracking. Browsers are on their way to getting rid of regular third-party cookies. So chips, the storage access API, and related website sets will be the only methods to use cookies in situations like iframes. Refer to this specific document to understand more on chips. So if you see here, unpartitioned approach, the cookies are organized like this. A top site A, top site B, both embed a site C, but the cookies are common, not partitioned. But in new approach, if we go here, top site A, top site B, same embed C, but two cookies are used, means partitioned. A with C, separate cookie jar. The top site B with C, separate cookie jar. The next one is first party sets. This declare relationships among sites to allow for limited cross-site cookie access using the storage access API. For example, if you own a related websites, example, a top domain country specific websites, so you can define a relationship between those websites to enable limited cross-site cookie access through storage access API. To declare a first party sets, we should raise a request through this GitHub repository. So you can go through this specific documentation, related website set submission. So you can understand the process. You need to submit a JSON file through a PR process. Yeah, you can use this specific website to generate the required JSON. Associated subset, service subset, all those details you can add here and generate the JSON. Then you can use the process defined here to enable the first party sets. Refer to this document to understand more on related website sets or first party sets. The next one is Federated Credential Management, FedCM. Support federated identity without sharing the user's email address or other identifying information with a third party services or website unless the user explicitly agrees to do so. The single sign-on mostly trust on third-party cookies to manage SSO between multiple applications. The third-party cookie phase-out impact that. The new approach defined by FedCM should be used. Refer to this document to understand more on FedCM or Federated Credential Management. You can refer to this specific document to understand more on the rollout timeline. Google planning to phase out third-party cookies during second half of the 2024. You can see here. Q and Q2 of 2024, they are planning for a 1% global user third-party cookie deprecation. You can see 1% 3PC deprecation during this window. Also, you can identify the individual APIs timeline over here. Most of the APIs are already available in latest Google Chrome version. The add privacy can be managed from here. 3 options, add topics. So you can enable or disable. This will list out all the topics the browser identified based on our browsing history. So if you see here, even I can block some of these topics, whatever I need. So then also if I go here, site suggested ads. So these are all the site suggested ads. I can block those sites if required. So then the third one is add measurement. If I want to delete some of these or I want to disable this add measurement, I can do that. I am using the latest Google version. If you go to this Chrome topics internals, you can identify all the topics browser identified. If required, even you can refresh it, also calculate now. So if you can see different topics the browser identified, random, some of these topics are randomly identified. These are based on our browsing history. So these are all the demo sites I was using. So it's identified the topic name based on the site. So also like these are all the real, all those sites whatever I visited. So some of the random one. So even you can click on calculate now, it will recalculate all the topics. So the next one is some of the features and parameters enabled. Most of the features are now enabled because I am using the latest Chrome version. If you go to classifier, as I already discussed, a machine learning model, a minimal model is used to identify the corresponding topics specific to a website. So if you see here, this is the model location, the classifier, the actual model location. Here you can specify the websites. Let's say I am going to specify my blog website, albinsblog.com. If I say classify, it's saying online communities. So like that you can say multiple website. If you want to say maybe google.com, yeah, it will say internet and telecom or like software. So it's a two topics are matched for. You can utilize this classifier to find out the topics for any specific websites. The model and the override data, the list is available here. Also, you can use the Colab from Google Research to run the classifier. I copied to my Google Drive. There are some changes. The latest TensorFlow version is not working. So I uninstalled that specific version and installing 2.13.1 version. So also some of this installation was not working. So it was PIP based installation, but I changed to apt-get. So then another change is if I come here, the taxonomy, it was using V1, so it was failing. So we should use V2. I copied the taxonomy from V2 version and converted into this specific format. So now if I go down, I kept some of the domains. So github.com, Albin's blog, Amazon and Wikipedia. So if I run this, you may get this error, the model is missing. So if you get this error, go to this folder, you need to add those models. So go copy this model, also add this override list file. Now this is fine, you can rerun now. Okay, this is fine, this is fine. Now if I run it, so I am getting the response. For each website I am getting the category and the score. So this one, this is the highest score, means the github.com is categorized under computer and electronics. So same way, if you go to wikipedia.com, so jobs and education / education. Same way albinsblog.com, online communities, 0.98. Then amazon.com, shopping, 0.988. So you can change the website and rerun this model. This is the simple demo for protected audience. So as we discussed, the protected audience, the AdTech platform is going to ask the browser to join the specific interest group. So then it will run the action to identify the optimum ad. So if you see here, joining shoes, this is one interest group. Joining books, this is another interest group. Even you can leave the group. So then you can run the action to display the matching ad. So let me first joining shoes. So if you see here, those you can find out all those details. The APIs are invoked and all fine. Now if I go and run action, so see this specific ad is displayed. You can find out all the details here. So again, if you want to joining books, you can do that. Again, run action. So but I did not leave this group, so that's what you are seeing, the old one. But otherwise, if I leave this group, then join this, run, you can see the books. So you can find out all the details here. You can find out all the demos details here for all the APIs, protected audience API, topics API, chips, all those APIs, the demos can be found here. You can go and execute. You can enable privacy sandbox ads APIs through this specific flag. Privacy sandbox ads APIs, Chrome flags, I enable that. So because this is not yet public, so we need to enable selectively. Let us quickly see the topics API demo. So these are all the websites, pets, animals, this one, this all are the websites. So we are going to visit those websites. So browser will calculate the topics for those websites and map it to. Then if you are in this website, the main website, it will display the topics whatever the browser identified. So for that, some more changes are required. If you go here, the flags, privacy sandbox enrollment overrides. We need to, I am going to do site specific enrollment. Yes, there is different enrollment to test it, right? This is, as I said, it's not a globally rolled out feature. So we need to enroll it, but this is site specific enrollment. So I added some of the sites because other demos also required. Other API demos require some of the sites, but for now at least this website is required. We should add this website here and we need to enable. If you do this, you need to relaunch the Chrome. So once this is done, if I go here and just click on all these websites, so if I click this website, this fine. Now if I go back, this one, I will keep clicking all this fine. If I go back and refresh this, it may sometimes take time. Sorry, I was using wrong Google profile, so that was the reason. But otherwise, if you access the individual website, you can see this website is added into two topics. Same way you can see all these websites. So if you go to this main website and refresh, you can see topic subset, pets and animals / pets. Let us quickly test the attribution reporting demo. So for that, you can follow this same process. So then you need to go to publisher website. So let me go to publisher website. This is fine. Now from publisher website, we should click on something here. This is kind of ad. Done. Now click here. That's fine. Now perform a activity here. Let me add product to cart. That's fine. Now if I go back here, if I go to this specific location, we can see the aggregation report generated. So you can use aggregation service even to share this report with external teams. Let us quickly see the protected audience demo. So For most of these demos, as we discussed earlier, the specific configuration, if I go here, yeah, these websites need to be added into the enrollment overrides. So some of this website, so but this is not documented, but you will receive a error. So if these websites are not added into this enrollment overrides. Let me visit this advertiser page. So I'm going there. So this is fine. If I go and do a inspect console, so this is fine. Now you should click the publisher page from here. Click it. Now if you see, the ad is displayed. Also refer to this for some additional demos. The third-party cookies deprecation majorly impact the ad tech services, but may impact other services like performance tracking and analytics. Maybe disable the third-party cookies in your website and test the functionalities to ensure the website is not impacted. Let us deep dive on individual APIs in upcoming videos. Also, Google introduced Privacy Sandbox for Android. Maybe we can see that in another video. The Privacy Sandbox assumed to improve the privacy. The collected data is stored in user machine and shared with control. But still browser, example Chrome, will have more control, hoping the privacy will be improved with required openness in future. Thanks all for watching the video. See you all in the next video.